Give me my theme music. There we go. All right, guys, welcome to your Tuesday masterclass. I'm really excited for this masterclass today. I think right now with everything going on in the market, I think a lot of us are just obsessed with how we can get our next transaction, right? In fact, with the culture that we've got here, and the ability that all of you guys have to create business now, we a lot of times we start living in that right now culture, the everyday culture. You know what I mean? And sometimes just being so obsessed with today, guys, can take your eyes off of tomorrow. And we forget that we've got an abundance of resources to help build not only our short-term plan, but our long-term plan as well, right? One of the biggest mistakes that I think agents make, not only in this group, but like just in real estate in general, is number one, knowing what resources they have, and number two, building their business for the long haul, right? Building their business with the end in mind and creating something that's going to take care of you financially for the long run, right? There's always, yes, the immediate transaction. I can pick up the phone and I can make 10 grand today, 20 grand today from prospecting. How many of you guys feel like you could do that, right? How many of you guys feel like you got the ability to create business now, right? Raise your voices. I want to hear some voices, not just thumbs up. How many of you guys feel like you can pick up the phone and create business now?
Yes.
Yes.
100%. Okay. All of those people who have that skill set, right? It's a blessing and it's a curse. Okay. Because you do have the ability to create business now. That's where your obsession lies, And so today, what we're going to talk about, guys, is just number one, understanding what your resources are, right? Number two, doing the stuff every single day that's going to lead to the ultimate goal and why you got your real estate license to begin with. I talk to so many agents, guys, week in, week out, day after day. And I think, and tell me if you can identify with this. How many of you guys, when you got your real estate license, right? When somebody asked you about your motivation, you said the words financial freedom. How many of you guys said that? Guilty or not guilty? Raise your voices. Guilty or not guilty? Come on.
Guilty.
All of you guys, right?
Absolutely.
Now, outside of your transactions, I'm going to ask you one more question, right? How many of you guys are actually doing things outside of your transactions to build that financial freedom? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
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 All of them, right?
Oh,
And
guilty.
so today what we're going to talk about is the resources that you have, right? And how to actually start operating every single day with the long-term plan in mind. I love it. So Michelle, do you have anything that you want to add before we jump into it today?
Yes, I do. I've got two things for you guys. So it's the time of the year, as you guys know. One of my favorite kind of the sessions that we go through with you guys. That's going to be super, super important. Who's excited to get their plans dialed in for 2026? Who's excited?
2026.
Who's ready?
Let's go.
We always talk about that 2026, your next year, right? It starts in October, okay? The transactions we're creating today are still deals actually we're closing in 2025, but we're shifting that hump here shortly where everything that we're creating is literally going to be our closing starting in January, and how we start out the year strong for Q1. So all those plans we're going to be doing the next 2 weeks, you guys. So you guys will see us push it out, but that's October 28th and November 4th. So I want everyone, you guys should be here every single week, but block that out. Specifically, it's always a 2-part session, you guys. It's a full-blown workshop. So over those 2 sessions, you guys will be fine-tuning, dialing in your exact game plans that you're going to be launching forward that you're going to be putting into work right away. So I'm super excited for that. Cooley, what do you want to add to that? But that's the next 2
just put it in your calendars right now. There's so many agents who get into 2026 or the next year, and you ask them about their business plan, and they're like, I don't even know what it is yet, or I haven't done that yet, right? Which means you're beginning the year behind, okay? And so if you guys want your 2026 to be your best year in real estate ever, okay, we got to plan that out. We got to get strategic, okay? And we got to make sure that we make the time for it, okay? Your next transaction is not more important than your business planning for next year. I promise you that, right? And so there's such an advantage in the market right now because a lot of agents are checked out because the market's not giving them the assist, right? And so most agents are backed out. And if you create the right plan going into 2026, I'm telling you, this is where we gobble up market share, right? This is where we start taking over a marketplace.
Gobble, gobble.
And so I want all of you guys to prioritize that. Michelle, go ahead.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I'm going to be working on with you guys, and I just want to emphasize this. So there's several of you guys that just got a personal message from me that is for specifically for you guys. That's only for those that actually sign up and launch with us. But I just want everyone else to know what's going on if you want to get running with us and you don't want to be left out. Just to kind of rehash the background that we come from, right? With over 15 years working with our own virtual assistants, ISAs in our businesses to run all of our companies, and also coaching agents and teams and other owners to scale out their businesses. We are personally launching next week. Okay, so this will be next week, myself live with your VAs that we help you source and hire, and literally getting them up and running in all of the platforms, and actually coaching and training and building out all of your systems and your playbooks. Who was on the Profit Engine 2 weeks ago for our first session? How many of you guys?
I was.
So
Yep.
I saw how, like, here's the blueprint to getting all the systems and processes in your business, right? And now we got to build out every part component of your business is a process. That's all going to be built out for you. I'm going to be personally coaching the VAs directly to build out. So you think about all the main components of your business, from literally just from like the tracking and metrics, right? Daily, weekly, and monthly, to the major things in your business, right? Our databases, the entire build out, organization and management of them, everything with our client care, everything with our past clients, everything in our listing systems and active systems, everything with our buyer systems. Marketing, when it comes to, there's 100 different things that go on with marketing that we're either doing very little of or not at all. All of this will be trained and coached and built out and compounded week over week over week. So your entire system is put in play. I'm also a super nerd. So when it comes to like your guys' number analyzers and actually having the KPIs to your business, I'm going to be coaching your VAs to track and build out all of this for you. So now we can get that leverage built into your business. You can have your time back. We can create that client engagement, and we can scale your business. So if you can't tell, I'm super excited because this is something we've been doing for years, but now we're kind of running this as a system. So those of you that got that personal message from me, the video was kind of long, so I think it didn't go through for like half of you. That's kicking off next week. So you guys will personally get the link and all the setup to that. Anyone out there that's like, Michelle, okay, I want to like at least ask you questions about it, or how does this work, or how would you help me implement it? I want you guys to reach out to me directly. Okay, text me, DM me. I'll have a conversation with you. But this is officially kicking off next week, and I am so excited. Like, it's going to be game changing.
Especially going into your 2026, I want you to think of all the bullshit that you've been doing across 2025, right? All the admin activities, all of the dummy dum stuff, right? All of the lack of execution on your post-listing routines, your pre-listing routines, right? How much time and energy are you putting into that, right? And what would your business look like in 2026 if your only job was to talk to people, right? If your only
Yep.
job was to create relationship and talk to your lead, what would that look like? If you had somebody to take care of your leads, to nurture your leads, to set up your follow-up boss campaigns and all of that good stuff, what would that look like, right? And so that's why we're launching this thing. And if you don't know what we're talking about, send Michelle a direct message right now. Ask her, Michelle, what the hell are you talking about? If you know what we're talking about and you want to jump into it, let us know, send us a DM, and we'll get started on that. So we're really excited about that, because most of you guys know what you shouldn't be doing. The failure is typically the execution, right? And so what Michelle's going to do is work with these guys on a weekly basis to make sure that the execution is running each and every single week, and you're keeping up with how the business is changing as well. So I love it. Claire, by the way, I dig your hat. That's a co-founder's hat, and it says juice. I love it. I love it. All right, Michelle, let's get into it today.
Yeah, let's start.
Okay. All right, Michelle, do you have everything ready? Do you want to go ahead and kick it off?
No, I don't. I don't. So I want you to set the tone, and then I'll pull up the handout in a moment here for everyone.
Okay. So I want you guys, I want all of you guys to understand, when, like, first of all, let me start with a question. The agent attraction model with your EXP downline, right? When you guys got started with EXP, how many of you guys thought, man, this is something that I really want to take advantage of because I see the upside, I see how strong it could be, right? And I want to do this, right? How many of you guys, show of hands, show of voices, how many of you guys wanted to make this a part of your business in some capacity?
Yep.
Shout
Yes,
out.
100%.
Make a comment. Make a comment in the chat. I want to see from all you
Yeah.
guys.
1,000%. Okay. How many of you guys have thought about the upside and what that would actually bring to you and actually strategically thought about how you could incorporate it into your business plan, right? How it could eliminate your debt, right? How it could take care of the little things in your life to make your life a lot easier. I think the failure for most people, again, and me and Michelle talked about this before, just like with the VAs, the failure is not in the ambition to go out there and do this stuff, right? The failure is in the execution, right? And the vision of the long-term plan, right? Because really quickly, we know that the payoff for the agent attraction on one transaction isn't huge, right? And so your mind is always typically focused on how can I go out there and make $10,000 today, right? Instead of like, what can I do today to make sure that I'm making $15,000 a month tomorrow? You know what I mean? And so what I want to do today is just kind of give you guys just a pathway to incorporate these different strategies into your business plan so that you can see the long-term vision. Okay. Michelle, why do you think that, although a lot of people are excited about the agent attraction piece when they start, why do you think most people end up not working this, right? Why do you think that 10% are doing big things with it and most people aren't?
I think it's twofold, okay? And you guys can, I love to kind of hear just the reaction from you guys. I think number one, it's challenging for, they think it's hard, right? Our focus is always on, I need that next $10,000 paycheck. I need that next $20,000 paycheck. I'm working on doubling my production. I'm working on maintaining my production. And so when we get boxed into that vision, right? Which we talk about that every day, how to create business on demand, right? That remains the focus. And so we don't look at what we're actually doing long term. But the challenge with that is when we look up 5 years from now, 2 years from now, what are we actually doing to build out our future? So it's a challenge, I think, across the board as human beings. But I think that's number one, is we're so focused on just the right now result this month that we don't look at what we're actually doing. And that's why we get stuck in this cycle, right? And we're not actually building something for ourselves and our families, which I want to share a couple testimonials in a moment. And then I would say the second part to that, like anything, who's joined us that wasn't a caller and joined this group and was like, I don't know if I'm going to take action with that. That looks hard. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. It's something challenging. It's something uncomfortable. So we don't actually go implement the steps to do it. I would think so. That's the second part. And so before you chime in there, Cooley, what we want to walk you guys through today is we're all here focused on building out and scaling our real estate businesses, right? Like that is the focus. If you guys look at all the stuff we run with you starting at 7:30 in the morning all day, all we are working on with you is growing and scaling your production and building a business that you can control in real estate, right? Now, with that said, because we have the financial vehicle and platform available to us, right? It is doing a disservice to you guys if we are not also working with you to help you build your long-term goals, build out your long-term plans for you, your families. The entire reason why we moved and built our business here on this platform is we could go from coaching you, Jason, right, on your real estate business to now actually building something for your family simultaneously. Does that make sense? That is why we came to this platform specifically. And so it is our job to make sure you guys know how to leverage this. And then we thought, okay, we know that all of our focus is just on growing our real estate sales, right? How do we make this as simple and done for you? You guys hear us use that term a lot with when it comes to hiring your VAs, right? When it comes to setting up your marketing, when it comes to putting together your systems, how much of this can we just do for you so we take that fog of like, how do I do it? Where's the implementation? That's complicated. I got to learn something else. So I'm just going to stay right here. Right? That's the objective.
Yeah. And go ahead, Michelle.
No, I was just what I want to know. So you guys don't get to see this from like our perspective, but I hope that's kind of clicking some dots with you guys because we have the power here. We have the power. We have the platform. We have the leverage to work with you guys on both simultaneously, and that's what we're going to kind of demonstrate here in a moment. But you guys don't see the messages that we get to receive, right? Which are the things that matter for us. You guys, what we share out there to the group and on social media is predominantly all you guys are watching the production testimonials, right? I just set my 5th appointment this week, and I just took 8 listings this month, and I just got my, I just made calls this week and got my 2nd appointment, right? You guys are seeing all the wins, right? I've got 8 under contract. Those are the testimonials we share out there. The private testimonials that we don't, and maybe we need to do more of this, Cooley. You guys don't see the messages of the agents that shoot us messages saying, this $4,000 that just mailbox money came in my account is keeping my family afloat this month, right?
Yeah.
This $7,000 just like changed my life this month, right? This is the hardship that we've been dealing with the last couple of years. This $4,000 is what just kept us going, right? You guys don't see those kind of messages that we get on a regular basis because we're not vocal enough about it. And I actually think, Cooley, that's us doing a disservice to our group, because it is in parallel to why we're building on this vehicle and not just at our independent like we used to have, or at any company, right? And so I'm getting a little like intensive and passionate with you guys, because this is something that we need to do a better job with all of you to go. And here's the crazy thing is we have things built in to help you do it, make it. So we're like, let's take the complexity out of it. But who out here can look at that and go, here's what I've been dealing with in my business. If I can have the necessities in my life covered, how would that change how you operate in your business, let alone in your life? Just think about that. The necessities in your life. How would that change things for you?
Huge.
Michelle, what do you mean by the necessities?
So when I talk about the necessities, so real estate's such a fun business, right? I talk about this. Obviously, we do every day. You guys got agents right here on this call that are making over $1 million a year, right? And consistently, you've got agents that are just getting started. You've got agents that are making like 400,000 one year and like 200,000 the next year. You got people that are barely breaking even, that are having a good few months and then just nothing. You've got agents having $100,000 months. It's all of the above, as you guys see, which is why we run the community that we do. Okay. So when I talk about the necessities, I look at, I work and I get to have a clear mind. I get to clear that the number one stress, is that financial stress of supporting ourselves, supporting our family, supporting our children, right? That is, to me, clearing out debt. I know a lot of people accumulate a lot of debt in this industry, unfortunately, because there's so many crazy up and downs. Okay. That means I've got all my necessities covered so that stress doesn't exist. I get to intentionally make plans with the money that I make, right? When I make that 20,000, that 50,000, that $100,000, I get to intentionally have a plan of what I'm doing to build my business and build my income with that money, right? Have that money make more money for me because my necessities are covered. There's not a thought, there's not a concern, there's not the human nature fight or flight instinct that kicks in when we have to financially provide for our families. That should be something top of mind for every single person, period, no matter where you're at. If you're not already thinking about passive income on even a necessity level, you will hit a point in life where you will be. Are you guys following me?
Just stop and think
Like
about that for a second. Just stop and think about that for a second. Like, how would my life be different? How would my world be different if my mortgage, my rent, my bills, my cell phone, my insurance, my car, how would my life change if that was actually paid every single month without me? Just hold real quick and think about that.
Crazy.
Or paid up
Like,
would be even better. Yeah, let's go.
Well, Susan, I wanted people to think about it, right? But no, absolutely, right? And so it's life-changing, right? And so again, what we want to do today is just set up the metrics for what that looks like, both short-term and long-term, and kind of give you the process of what that actually looks like financially, so you know how to start unlocking these levels in your life, right? And for me, Michelle, if that's ready or not, for me, it always starts with, how can I, like, the most basic cost that I have. Like, how can I negate that so that, like, for example, like, did you guys know that if you leveraged agent attraction to attract 4 capping agents, do you know what that pays for? Anybody have any idea?
Thanks for all your fees that you exceed.
So that gives you your entire cap back every single year, right? That means you are being paid now to hang your license here. And if you hit icon status where you get your entire cap back, that means you're being paid double. to hang your license here, right? And so the first step for everybody should be like, and write this down. We got a little process that we're going to send you a worksheet where you can write this stuff down. But like, how many of you guys would love it if EXP just said, hey, you know what? You guys all work here for free now, right? Don't pay us anything. Welcome to EXP. Here's all the coaching. Here's all the resources. And you know what? It's on the house. Like, how would that change your life? Would you guys be ecstatic about that? Would that be a milestone for you guys? How many of you guys would prefer that? Raise your hands, raise your voices if you would want that. Hey, get your hand out of my pocket and pay me to hang my license here. Okay. So I want you guys to understand that the first metric for all of you guys should be to eliminate what you're paying. Okay. Number one. Michelle, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Blake, would you agree with that? Matthew Walker, Blake, are you being paid to hang your license here? Or how much money do you pay EXP?
No, EXP pays me.
Aaron, what's your split with EXP?
80-20?
Not really for you anymore, right? Because you're getting paid to hang your license here, correct?
Yeah.
So you don't really have a split, right? Because whatever you pay out through your 80-20 split comes right back through the back door in revenue share times however much, correct? Amen. So he's working here for free, right?
Yep.
Jason Wyndham, what's your split?
200%.
Oh, they pay me quite a bit to hang my license here. Comes right through the
Yeah.
back door.
Right. All right. Right through that. We're not going to coin that phrase, by the way, Jason. Not going to happen. Matthew Walker, what about you?
Yeah, I have not paid EXP a dime since I've been here.
Like, and isn't that ideal, guys? Isn't that what we all want? You know what I mean? And so that should be how we cover the first step. Michelle, can we give that deliverable? Do we have that
Yeah,
ready?
let me share screens here for you guys.
And I want all of you guys to download this because we'll drop it, okay? And I want you guys to put this up somewhere where you can see it. Because what we're doing right here is getting it out of our heads and on paper, the actual roadmap and what it means. And then we can break down how fucking easy it is, right? To build, okay? Now, one of the things that we're really awesome at, guys, and to me, I'm not a big fan of like the agent attraction for my own benefit. One of the reasons why we're all really good at what we do is because this entire platform is built to help out everyone, right? We're not nickel and diming people like they do in the industry. We're going all in on our agents, right? And giving them everything that they want and need from a value standpoint, right? With the best financial platform that there is in the industry. Like, do you guys believe that? Yes or no? Like, how many of you guys actually believe that, right? GP, you were at Christie's. How was that compared to the resources that you have right now?
Oh, there's no comparison. I got tired. They brought no value, and I got tired of them taking my money, just the standard brokerage way.
Yeah.
Exactly. No value, take all my money. And that's what agents have to deal with every single day, right? And so you're offering them the best of both worlds here, and you're actually helping change their lives like we've changed the lives of so many. So Michelle, let's kind of break this down a little bit.
So what I want for all of you guys is we were like, how do we make this the simplest way possible? Like visually, right in front of you, GP, right? The simplest way. We're going to talk about the how in a moment, okay? How we can do this with you and for you, right? But I think the number one thing here, because I'm going to give you guys all this document, is there's got to be a reason behind it, right? Why does this matter to you? Right? What does this mean for you? So I think those first couple of lines are, to me, probably the most important piece here. And you got to get specific with yourself, right? I look at things a few ways, right? I look at a couple of things that I already said, which is debt that needs to be removed, okay? And what covers my necessities. So I'm using little stuff here. If any of you guys know me, whether it was from early on meetings with me, conversations that we have, I never talk about the big stuff. Okay. I'm not talking about like, here's all the things, here's what like the biggest people do. I'm always going to talk with you on like the simplest, smallest scale, which is what you guys kind of see me listed out here. I'm not even talking about the 20,000 a month, 30,000. I'm not talking about 50,000 a month. I'm not talking about $100,000 a month. I'm talking it on a fundamental level. If we could help all of you guys, one, work here for free, because again, why wouldn't you? Like that just makes sense. Okay, I think we can all agree with that. But what does it take to, one, cover all of your necessities, and you need to write these things down, right? Number one, what's that freedom number? What do you need to have monthly that gives you the freedom that you want in your life? Again, to run your business the way that you want to because you want to work the way that you want to because you want to, right? To do the things that you want to and live the life the way you want to because you want to. I always think of the like a necessity number, Cooley. Like this covers my life, right? And then there's the I want to build it to this. So there's almost two different numbers there, but a freedom number to me means I officially have that freedom. And then there's like the bigger goal. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
To me, I actually think that should be two different numbers because we should be working towards that necessity number first. That gives us our freedom, period, to then make those decisions. But you got to write down the things that are important to you. And
And
that
so
can all of us.
Michelle, I'd like for them to do that right now, guys. And I'd like for everybody to take out a sheet of paper if you've got one right now, okay? And I want you to kind of walk through this exercise with us right now, okay? And then you can complete this in this format as soon as you're done and you have time to think about it, okay? So we all know, right, that 16, like it takes 4 agents to get you paid through EXP so that you're never paying EXP again, right? Number one, okay? And that's kind of step one. Step two, Michelle, 14 agents pays you $32,000 a year and $2,600 a month, okay? $2,600 a month in positive cash flow. Now, I want you guys to all ask yourselves right now, take a look at your bills, take a look at the things that you're paying for right now, take a look at your mortgage payment or your rent or whatever. And if you were making $2,600 a month or $32,000 a year in positive cash flow, what would that eliminate in your life? Like, what's one thing that would actually take away, Miguel? What's one thing that would actually take away, Karina, Aaron, Adam, Blake? Well, Blake's already making that. Brenton, like, think of one thing that would take away. For some of you guys, can you just vocalize that right now, if you don't mind? What's one thing that would take away personally for you that's actually really important? Anybody just want to like throw some things out there real quick?
House payment.
Yeah. More time.
Mortgage, debt.
House payment, yeah.
All my
Yeah.
basic bills.
My son's
Wow.
college.
Your son's college, right? Like these are big things. And so I want you to write that down, exactly what that would pay for and what that would mean, because you can't lose sight of this, right? Like how many of you guys want a free fucking house? You know what I mean? And it's not a free house through ill-gotten gains. It's a free house for changing people's lives. Like it's the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? So yeah, free house, what a strong incentive. And all of us would want one of those, right? So if you could just write that down real quick. And then, so obviously if you get to 14, you're on the path to 24, right? 24 is $48,000 a year or $4,000 a month. Okay. What milestone would that create for you, right? $4,000 a month, positive cash flow every single month. What would that change in your life, right? What would that cover for you? Some of you guys would start to be in the green in terms of like positive cash flow. Now my life is free, right? Okay. For those of you guys who have $4,000 a month in monthly bills, right? Man, we need to close some more deals and get you into a little bit more debt so that you're making more money, right? Or we need to get you to like, all right. So 34 agents, guys, is like, this is where it starts getting big, right? 34 agents is $64,000 a year or $5,000 a month, right? Where would we be at that point? Okay. What are we starting to trickle into at that point? For some of you guys, man, it's like I'm in the green every single month, regardless of my production. That's giving me an extra $1,000 a month, you know, and understanding that, by the way, guys, anytime you start something like this, there's a part of it that just starts growing out naturally with or without you. You know what I mean? And when you get to this point, this is where the compound effect starts happening, right? And you see this start to double and triple on its own without any effort from you, right? And that's kind of where we want to be, like with our real estate business, with anything. It's like, how can I create that momentum, right? So that a lot of the work is done while I'm just doing the things that I normally do. You know what I mean? And so, man, that's a real momentum spot right there, because once you unlock that level, it's like you've unlocked the flow, if that makes sense. And so if you get 34, then you're at 44, right? That's $80,000 a year. Okay. You're making $80,000 a year in positive cash flow. How many investment properties is that going to take you, right? If you were to do things just the traditional way, right? How much liability would you have? What would your mortgage payments be for those properties, right? So this is like the same thing, but it's all profit, right? It's all positive cash flow, if that makes sense. And then just the last one here, right? 54 agents gets me to $96,000 a year. I'm sorry, she didn't scroll down. $96,000 a year, $9,333 a month in positive cash flow. Okay. And then 74, which is 128,000. That's $10,000 a month in passive income. Okay. And I know for all of you guys, and I don't care where your income is at right now, I don't care where you're at in life. I know for all of you guys, like, would $10,000 a month be actually game changing? Miguel, are you going like this because you want me to give you $10,000 a month? Is that what's happening there? Or is he talking to his daughter? He just had a little baby, cutie pie. Guys, seriously, think about it for a second. $10,000 a month, how would that change your life? Zachary Martinez, would that have an impact on your life at all?
That'd be it. 10 G's a month. That's pretty much that'd solve all the problems, man.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Taylor, growing family, right? $10,000 a month. What's that going to set your kids up for?
Endless possibilities.
Love it.
So
I love it.
we
Okay.
built this out like this, you guys. We wanted something that was so, take the, okay, when it like, then it tears out and all this comes, we bring on people and then they're of course going to organically bring on people and it's going to build all this momentum. Let's take all of that out of it. Let's take all the complication out of it. I just did it in multiples of 10. Okay. $10,000, whether for whatever that means to everybody, that regardless is a game-changing amount of money to receive passively automatically. Okay. For I would say a big pool of people that covers the necessity. Would you guys agree with that? I understand
Yeah.
some big ballers here with giant back end numbers that they need. Awesome, even better. Let's go after that. But I did this to keep it on like a very, for me, like an objective for most people, and it might be just, I want to get to that 4,000, I want to get to that 5,000, but $10,000 a month would change people's lives. And we try to make this as easy as possible. If you have this in front of you, we're just working away at 10 at a time, 10 at a time, Taylor, right? Can you do that? Can you just vote? And literally you can like mark them off. It's on your wall. I'm just working on 10 at a time. I'm working on bringing on myself. Like I can control that. I can do that work, right? How do I bring on 10 at a time and watch what that does as it compounds? Okay. But this is just you directly going out there and saying 10 at a time. There's people, you guys, that have done that in a month. That might take you 6 months. That might take you a year. What are you doing to actually work towards building the financial future of your families? Because you can. We'll get to the how in just a second here. But I just wanted to kind of demonstrate this in this view. There's big wealth charts we've used before, which is all great, right? For people that are like hot and heavy agent attraction, but we wanted to make this as basic as possible for, we have one of the highest productivity groups in the industry. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that is our focus. It is production, create business on demand, scale out our businesses. So we wanted to keep this as a simple pillar as possible, Paul. So it made it so easy to run in parallel with what you're doing. You're already out there selling 40.
Can I just, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but can I paint a picture real quick? I know that I'm in the room with a bunch of real estate agents, but is there anybody here who's really good at math?
I was a mortgage
Anybody
guy.
here?
I think I am.
All right. GP was a mortgage guy. So let's take 64 agents, right? 64 agents gets you $112,000 a month. Okay. And what we're talking about is like, for some of you guys, you're like, fuck, man, 64 agents, that's a lot. Any one of you guys think that that's a lot, right? That's a lot. If you're thinking short term, right? If you're like, man, I can't go out there and create 64 agents in a month. This is kind of what I'm talking about here, is like the long term versus the short term thinking. GP, like, how many agents over the next 3 years, how many agents per month would it take to reach 64?
How many years?
Two.
Not even two, right? Like 1 point something probably,
I just
Yeah.
rounded.
right? Yeah.
Zachary's
Like
on it.
1 point something agents over the course of the next 3 years, ladies and gentlemen, look at that baby, Miguel. That's why we're doing this too. I look at babies like that and I'm like, man, that's why we're doing this here. So like to make $100,000, $112,000 passively, okay, every single year, is it worth it? And does it sound a lot easier if I were to only bring on like one agent a month over the next 3 years? I would have all of my bills paid for, I'd have everything done for me, and I'd have my life back, right? Is that worth it? Ladies and gentlemen, over the course of 3 years, does that sound a lot more obtainable to you guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Give me some voice. That's pretty
I like
attainable,
that.
Absolutely.
right? Especially when you build in like when you factor in what we have built in, right? Now, this also isn't something that you're expected to just go out there and do by yourself. Okay. Now we run what we call the builder's call every Monday. How many of you guys know that? Anybody familiar with that?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Now imagine if you made 30 minutes every single week to jump on that call and have Matthew Walker, who's one of the best in the industry, actually get that agent for you every single week, right? Okay. What if he did that heavy lifting for you? Michelle and I met with those agents so that we could help them with their business and they onboarded underneath you, right? If you set 4 appointments a month just from being on that builder's call, what is the likelihood that one of those is going to end up joining? What do you think? Probably highly likely, right? And so if you did that same activity over the course of 4 years, or 3 years rather, that's your ticket, assuming nothing else happened, right? Assuming that your conversion rate was really low, in the next 3 years, you would have all your bills paid for, and it was literally done for you, if that makes sense.
So I want to slow this down for a minute. So I brought this up so you guys could see Matthew's beautiful face. He's on here too with his face showing, so you guys can see him there. This is who's Cooley. Can you see who's on here with us? Because I know we've got many testimonials to this.
Yes.
Whether it's Sienna, whether it's Ashley, whether it's Taylor, I think we were just doing, you've been more than with us, whether it's Jason, whether it's Karina, many of you guys, okay? Cam, you're other than it's Blake, right? Same thing, okay? So many of you guys, did I just see Sienna's face? I just thought I see her. I see her on.
She's here.
But
I'm
I
on here.
There's I know you guys see us maybe talk about this or promote it. How many of you guys, probably I'm going to say the majority have never been on this call, have never seen what we actually do, what Matthew Walker actually does, just once a week, every single Monday. Okay. So he is, again, every week, and this is where I want you guys to think about mathematically. If you had an intentional, this is where things don't happen by accident. You guys know this with your production. This also goes for your future building. This goes for creating wealth. This goes for creating passive income. Nothing will happen by accident, right? This means this is intentionally blocked out on my schedule, right? GP. This means I show up to it once a week in this little window. This means, this is my call to action to you guys. I show up with 2 contacts once a week, 2 contacts. And I'm going to hand it over here to Matthew. And those of you that have not seen how those calls and conversations go, that are warm, that are passive, and now we are setting the appointment for you. We are now meeting with those amazing agents for you, having conversations about them, their business, their lives, what they need. We're finding the solutions on how we can help them. Now they're onboarding, right, Sienna? Now they're set up. We've onboarded them to them. Now they're in your passive income stream. Okay. And guess what, Sienna? Now I'm working with those agents who have now introduced me to 4 other agents, right? That's a whole nother thing. Okay. But this is how now I just want you guys to think about this when Cooley just talked about the math. GP, what would happen? So this is where I go back to, hey, GP, you could just call 2 a day, 1 a day, 2 a week yourself. Because again, one of the other purposes of this call is we're teaching you. The implementation is hard, right? So we're teaching you what to say and what to do while we're doing it for you. Because when you see that conversation, it's like a light bulb goes off and it's like, oh, well, I can have that conversation with the agent on the other side of the deal, right? Or my friend in the business or whoever else, right? When you see and witness those conversations, that's when the light bulb goes off. Okay. But better yet, GP, you're busy. You're out there. You've got like 11 listings on the market right now, right? So if you actually just allotted a very specific little window in your entire week of all the hours we have in the week and said, I'm going to show up with 2 contacts. What's the likelihood, if you do the math on that, which again, I'm not the math person here. I know I'm good at systems and all that. I'm not the math person here. And you did that once a week, 4 weeks, 4 times a month, 52 times a year. Let's water that down because of all the holidays and travels. Call it, I always do business planning on 40 weeks a year. What is the likelihood of you hitting your goal if you actually intentionally did that every single week and just showed up with 2 contacts?
Would be like
Compound effect.
Pretty easy.
But you guys, is everyone following me on the math here? Because
But are we seeing the vision is I guess what Michelle was asking. Like, raise your voices if you're seeing the actual vision and you're going, oh, wait a minute here, right? Like, let me hear you guys and your feedback, because like, again, we're all about changing lives and building out lifestyles, right? Some people will just talk to you about like, how can we get you to produce as much as possible? And that's great. We want to do that, right? But man, lifestyle, I think, is the most important for all of you guys. Like, how many of you guys are more concerned with lifestyle than anything else? Like, what kind of life do I want to be leading, right? How many of you guys feel that way? Unmute your microphones. Give me your voices. Like, I want to hear you because this is important.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Cooley,
Sure.
Cooley, I got a question.
Yes.
So one of the big things for me is legacy, right? So is this something like my kids could come underneath and take over?
Yes.
I
So
love this.
I'll answer that really quick. So I'll answer that 2 ways, you guys. You guys know this is one of the reasons, again, why Cooley and I
Miguel, pay
here
attention to this.
for
You
our
just had a tally on here. Pay attention to this part.
there's twofold for this. KGP, again, one of the main reasons why anyone that knows my story or Cooley's story, why we're over here on this platform, you guys all know that we have our children, right? We both have daughters. Cooley has his wife and his daughter. And what happens to all of us if we are no longer able to operate our business, right? We can no longer create that income for our families. Not only what has been built is so substantial, this is now a willable asset and income to our children's, okay, for life. Also, K1, so this is, it passes on to beneficiaries, right? There's a first beneficiary and a second beneficiary. It's all built into the back-end system. So literally it's just a form you fill out. It's all played out. This is what we need to work on more with you guys, right? Is getting this built out and make sure you fill out those beneficiary forms. Even without those GP, it defaults to your spouse, just FYI, right? So not only something that you can will and pass on. Go ahead, Cooley.
So for me, guys, and I get emotional about this conversation. Like, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know how much I love my wife and how much I love my family, right? My wife is a stay-at-home mom. Okay. My daughter's 16 years old. And I just think, man, if anything ever happened to me, like my family would just be fucked, right? Like, what are they gonna do? Right. I envision, like, what's my wife gonna do? You know what I mean? Is she gonna go get a job and now she can't be involved in my daughter's life? Like, what does that actually look like? And to me, I always am motivated by fear, right? Like, what the fuck are they going to do without me? And I'm like afraid of like what life is going to look like for them. And so one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about that is because I know that you guys all have people that you love and support as well, right? And you got to ask yourselves the same questions, because you know how it is. Like, what happens when I stop doing deals, right? What happens when I have a bad month, right? How does that affect your guys' family? Just FYI, when you have a bad month. Is it a negative effect on your family? Yes or no? Does it cause more stress in the house? Now imagine if you weren't even fucking there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, imagine that, what that would do to your family. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's got to be like, man, I got to do something to make sure that they're taken care of no matter what, right? That's the most important thing to me. My little Asian wife and my little Asian daughter are the most important things in my whole life. You know what I mean? And so I want to make sure that they're taken care of and they're thriving so that they can do what they want to do. So my whole purpose is to give them a really good life. And I want that to continue no matter what, if that makes sense.
This is
go
a
ahead.
legacy. This is that security, right? For ourselves, for our families, which is, when you think about it, a lot of the reasons why we do all of this in the first place. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys another worksheet. Monica, go ahead. I know you have a question.
Yes, I just wanted to say the same thing. This is extremely important. I was not aware of that part, that it does go down to beneficiary. I actually, when I was joining and researching XP, and that was just less than 2 months ago, I didn't find that information anywhere. I found it on the other company, I think they're called Real, right? That their model offers that, but I couldn't find it on the exclusive. That I think not many people are aware of this. So we got to promote that it does get passed on to beneficiaries. I think this is huge actually.
It's
Yeah.
Game changer.
It's a game changer. And again, it's why Cooley and I came here, not only for our own families, as you guys just heard, right? I've raised my daughter alone for 10 years, right? What happens if we're not here, right? So we're building these things for a reason. But specifically, when you guys all know Cooley and I, right? We full-time coach, train, run this whole operation to build our people. It gave us a platform to allow them to build a legacy for themselves. You guys remember, I'm that mega franchise owner. It's building an asset for me. If you guys worked for me at my company, the reasons we came here, and that's why going back to what we started with in the beginning, we don't do a good enough job of really emphasizing and working on this with you guys on a regular basis, because it's kind of just over here. We know everyone wants, we're just working on everybody's production, but this is the foundational reason why we came here, because all the coaching on production, we've been doing that for years, right? Like this is what we do day and night. This vehicle is why we came over here to actually help our agents build this for their families and their legacies. That is the reason, just so everybody knows. We could have
And
been doing
so, yeah, and so really quickly, guys, just to take out and I'll take ownership of this. I was talking to Aaron Yoon the other day, and I'm like, hey man, I think one of the reasons why we only have like 10 people on our builders call where we're literally building this out for them is because I failed as a leader in like painting that long-term vision. Aaron laughed. He's like, look at Cooley taking accountability for something. He thought that was hilarious, but it's true. You know what I mean? And so I just want to make sure, and the reason why we're doing this masterclass today is to make sure that you've got a long-term plan of action that you're actually executing on, and we make it really easy for you to take out all of the reasons why you feel like you can't do that, right? So some of you guys will say things like, well, my production isn't good, or I haven't gotten my feet wet yet in the production cycle that I want. It's not about you. Nobody gives a shit about you. It's like, what could somebody do with these resources, right? Some of the top producers that we have, under the co-founders group, like 250 deal a year agents. Hannah Price, biggest producer, one of the biggest producers in Tennessee. Do you know where Hannah Price came from, ladies and gentlemen? A brand new licensee who doesn't do any deals. Imagine that, right? It's like, what could this person do with the resources? It's not about you. So number one, eliminate your own ego and go, man, if somebody had access to all this, how would it change their life? Right. And I want to give them that message. Right. And then it's like, well, I don't want to cold call and I don't want to recruit. Good. We have somebody who's going to do that for you. Right. We have somebody who's going to meet with the agents. We have somebody who's going to reach out and schedule the appointment. So quite literally, all you have to do is show up and give a contact. Right. That's how easy we've made it for each and every single one of you people on this call. Is all you have to do to show up to a call and give contact information, and the rest is done for you. Like, how crazy is that? I'm still working on a system where you could just show up and just say, hey, I want this listing, right? Could you go out there, take it active, right? Set the appointment, take it active and sell it for me and just send me the commission check. Still working on that, right? Haven't figured that out, but we've done that with this already. You know what I mean? And so you have that here. The question is, are you going to make the time for it? And how can we make it easy for you? So number one, right now, I want all of you guys to schedule in your calendars. If this is actually important to you, I want you to schedule in your calendar right now, every single Monday at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I'm showing up to the builders call. Now, the cool thing is on that call, you could be in your car, right? You could be working on your admin activities, and it doesn't require you to be like full on active participant and engaged with the call. You show up and you go through that motion, right? You could be working on other things. So if this is important to you, go in your calendars right now and schedule that as a priority, right? Now, guys, if I told you that an inspection would be the reason why you're not making $100,000 a year in passive income, would you say that that's ridiculous? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Right?
No.
So like, you've got to learn to schedule around your priorities. And if that's a priority for you and your family, well, then all of the bullshit that takes you away from your schedule shouldn't be more important, right? It's the long-term vision in mind, guys, and we've got to learn to operate like that. So I'm going to give you guys something right here that Michelle's got pulled up right now, because there's two different ways that you could go about this, right? And the easiest way to start creating the action and the motion is to start like bringing it to fruition and bringing it to reality by putting it on paper, right? Getting it right out in front of you. And so, guys, can you all see this document that Michelle has pulled
Yeah.
up?
Yes.
Okay. So Michelle, can you walk them through exactly what this looked like?
Yeah.
What this looks like and what it is?
So and I want to make sure we're connecting the dots with everybody on how kind of like simple we're trying to make this. And those of you that have not yet been on that call, you're about to have your mind blown, because when you go, well, how do I need to prep them? What do I need to do? So I made this list. I actually, before I'll reattach it in the chat, because I just realized I have it's supposed to say agents on the other side of deals. So you should make a list. Monica, make a list. Who are all the agents I know? All of them, right? Warm, not warm, cool, doesn't matter. Right? You have to make that list. And same with agents. So again, this I'll attach it in a moment here. We're just editing it. Agents on the other side of deals. We're all out there doing production, a little or a lot. I don't care if it's the deal you closed last week, Romy, or the transactions from last year, the year before. All it takes, this is what we ask for you guys, is it's that warm, just because there's a reason of this is a deal. They did a deal with Shelly, right? This is an agent that did a deal with Rachel. It's such an easy opener, and you guys are going to see how we do it. So not only this is something you can do yourself, but again, we're going to just do it for you. But we want that opener, right? Romy, this is an agent you know because you met him at an event 2 months ago, right? Or this is an agent I know, I chatted with them at their open house. This is an agent I did a deal with last week, last month, last year. It doesn't matter. Make that list. Again, without intentionality, you guys won't do it. So you got to make the list. And all we want you guys to do, it says it right here, is just show up once a week, intentionally block it on your calendar, bring 2 of those. So you're already prepared. Okay. And watch what happens. We are going to build this out for you if you just follow this simple plan and formula, right? But again, it's got to be intentional. You can't just show up, Rachel, and be like, I'm here now. What? I got to think of somebody. Like, actually sit down. This is your financial future, right? This is your freedom.
Financial freedom that
Your
all of you
freedom
guys
plan.
talked about when you got your license, right? This is that. This is that.
Write it down and just bring 2 a week, and let us do the rest.
To make it a little bit more easy for you guys, all right, here's the task, right? It's broken down into 2 categories: agents that I know, which could be anyone, right, that you know, and agents that I've done a deal with in the past 12 months, right? Could even be 24 months. And I want you to break it down into those 2 categories with this deliverable. And I want you to show up to that builder's call, right? And every single week, just give Matthew 2 names and then check them off as contacted, right? And if they haven't been contacted, then great. You've got 2 more that you could give to Matthew the next week, if that makes sense. And if you follow that, oh my goodness, I'm continually putting together a list of at least 64 agents, right, over the course of time that I'm contacting to put myself in a position where I could be making that $100,000 a year passively, right? Now I've got a plan. Now I've got something that I can execute on. And oh my God, I don't really have to do it because these people who have brought me on are doing all the heavy lifting for me. Some of you guys don't know this, but a lot of you guys are here because of that call. And you guys don't even know it, right? But a lot of you guys are on this Zoom because Matthew made that call or somebody made that call and we did the heavy lifting. So first of all, welcome, and you're living proof that this system actually works. You know what I mean? So again, how many of you guys feel like this is something that you want to buy into? Just raise your voices, unmute your microphones, like just give it to me.
Yeah.
I want to buy into this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
go.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
I
need
love it.
clarification.
Now,
I need
here's the
clarification.
kicker. Here's the kicker, ladies and gentlemen. Realistically, only 10% of you guys are going to show up to that Monday call, right? Only 10% of you guys are actually going to take the time to print this out and fill it out. 10%. Okay. And so I want you to ask yourself this question right now. Am I in the 10% or am I in the 90% of fucking do nothings? And it's going to be the reason why I don't have the things that other people have, right? If you guys ever see the testimonials that are just cranked across our social media platforms, guys, it's because those people aren't like special or just crazy talented, right? It's because they're doers and they're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to execute on this. So when we get, 5 months down the road and you see somebody going, oh my God, I'm making $8,000 a month passively, right, on top of my deals, and it's all because of that masterclass that I went to, right? You're either going to grit your teeth and go, oh, fuck, I remember that masterclass and I didn't do shit. Or you're going to be like, hey, girl, I'm on my way too, right? Here's what I got because I decided to execute, right? You got a wealth of resources here, guys, and the most successful people on the planet, right, are not the smartest. They're not the most intelligent. They're not even the hardest working, right? But what they are, in most cases, are the most resourceful, right? They realize what resources they have and they execute and redline those resources for their benefit, right? And that's what we're trying to do here. We want to redline the resources to our benefit. You know what I mean? And so, how many of you guys are in that 10%? How many of you guys have decided today that I'm in the 10% who are going to be like, I'm making 100 grand a year now passively because I'm a doer? How many of you
Right
guys
here.
are in the 10%?
Let's
Unmute your
go.
microphones and let me know.
Let's
I
go.
don't want
Right here.
Yeah.
10%.
Legacy
Let's
of
go,
D bills.
10%.
All right. Now, realistic question. How many of you guys are in the 90% who are just not going to do shit? Be honest.
Don't do that. Take this opportunity to stick it to Chad and be a part of the 10%. Make that 10% a
Yeah.
much larger number. Just get out of your own way and get a fucking piece of pen and paper.
Yeah.
Write it down.
So,
It's too simple.
question. So
I
are
need
you saying this paper,
clarification.
we don't have to, do we have to do a warm call with these agents or agents we know?
You
just-
don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything but show up to that builder's call right now. And then if you get a taste of that and you want to build more,
can't be
right?
cold
Then we'll work
calls.
with you directly on how to build more, right? How to be more assertive and how to take that 3-year plan and squeeze it into the next 12 months. We could do that, right? But the first step is like, how do I sell myself on this actually works, right? How do I get like my first win so that I could fill in that little dot, right? And I'm going to ask all of you guys to show me where you've got this printed out. So it's top of mind every single day, right? So it's top of mind every single week, right? But like, how can I get myself my first win, right? Or my second win or my third win, and take the baby steps. And then we can talk about doing this at a higher level.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is to get everyone foundationally there. You guys, the worksheet is attached, so everyone go grab that right now. Save it, print it out. This is designed to be printed out, filled out. Literally, we made it like a coloring book on the first page. Just a couple of tactical things here real quick, because I saw you guys putting in the chat. I just want people to know this. Those of you guys that are already got substantial revenue share, these are big conversation. Those of you, let's just get it started, okay? But yes, you list out your beneficiaries. It is a percentage of a deal. It's a referral fee for the life of the agents doing transactions off the top of every deal until they cap, recycles and continues every single year. Okay. Your beneficiaries, here's the way it works. And GP, I'm going to use you as an example. Even if we didn't have that filled out, it defaults to our spouses. They just have up to 12 months to get licensed. They do have to be licensed. Now does that make sense? And so they have that time span to get licensed. Let's use me as an example, right? My daughter's 10. Okay, she can't get a real estate license for 8 years. So I have my beneficiaries set up all a certain way. You also can set up through trust because there's certain ones set up where they gain a real estate license. So it can actually be all built in through there. So all of the revenue share goes through there. I know that I'm getting technical here, but just so you guys know, it runs through there and holds it for our children. There's many different ways to play this out, but none of that even matters until we get you guys.
If you don't do something, you don't get it, right? I feel like I just hyped them up, Michelle, and you're doing the fine print. Like, must be 18 years or older.
No, we'll end with that,
prohibited.
but I just wanted to hit
Not
on,
available in the state
I
of
want to
Florida.
hit on
Yeah.
that.
Can I just ask
So everyone
one quick
has it.
question while we
Yeah.
have you guys? Can I ask one quick question
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
to clarify? So I thought Matthews are not cold calls. So I thought we have to attempt first
Right.
and then he goes, so we are allowed to bring cold calls to that call?
No, you can do cold calls, right? Matthew doesn't do cold calls. That's why the list
Okay,
that's broken
okay.
down is agents that I know and agents that I've
Got
done
you.
deals with. Now, they just have to, there's just got to be some sort of connection, right? If you know them through a group of people, man, Matt starts that call off very soft, right? And it's such a warm phone call, regardless of whether you know the agent on the other side of the deal personally. But all of you guys have done deals. All of you guys know agents. And so none of you guys should have a problem. And whether you have a good relationship with the agent on the other side of the transaction, irrelevant, right? Irrelevant, because you're going to talk about him. Matt's going to give him a call and say, hey, Brenton, he did a deal with you 12 months ago. We were just talking about you. You said that you were a great agent. The transaction went smooth. I wanted to reach out to you and just ask you, are you committed to being at, Keller Williams forever? Right?
Do you mind if I chime in for 2 seconds?
Yes.
I want to because I want to try to help clear the air on what people are defining as a cold call or not. My goal when I get on the phone with these people, my hope or requirement, if you will, is that they know who you are when I actually bring your name up. So you don't have to reach out to them beforehand. I just want them to know who you are, so that when I call and I bring your name up, I'm not just flailing around with my ass in the wind. They actually have an existing relationship with you to some degree, because that is my warm introduction into the conversation, if that makes sense. Right? So you don't have to have talked to them beforehand. I'm not asking you to lay any groundwork or to do any of the heavy lifting at all. Just give me their name and their number, and I expect that when I drop your name, they know who I'm talking about.
You just
That's
can't go find 20 people on realtor.com and bring them.
Yeah.
Correct, right?
Yeah.
Don't just go Googling everybody and their mom that you happen to see on, Selling Sunset or whatever the hell it is.
Most
Okay.
importantly, guys, we're doing this to help people out, right? We're doing this
Great.
to have impact on their lives, not to just get them on our downline. So understand that in a lot of cases, you'd be doing these guys such a huge favor by introducing them to people who are going to have a positive impact on their business and their life, right? You guys, just like we're talking to you right now, you guys need somebody. People need people looking out for their short term, looking out for their long term, and helping bring all those pieces together. And that's what we got here. You know what I mean? And so feel good about building it, because there's not a lot of what we have out there in the industry. You know what I mean? And right now is the best season to do it, because people are starting to put together their business plans and they're like, wait a minute, nobody's helping me with anything. Nobody even cares about my business. Right. And then Matthew calls and it's like, hey, we can help you. Like, let's do that. So guys, be a part of the 10%. I'm glad that all of you guys showed up today. If you need help or you want to get a little bit more strategic on this, DM me. Okay. We can set up a call, work it one-on-one, whatever you want, but make sure that you do those two things first, right? The two handouts, do that. And then let's get to work, guys. So I want to thank you for showing up. Let's make long-term part of our business plan moving forward. I love all your faces, and I will see all of you guys on the Breakfast Club tomorrow. 7:30.
What happens if a few of us put same name? I mean, if 5 of us put same name on the agent list that we know. I mean,
First come,
Man,
first
that
serve,
would-
buddy.
That'd be a great
would be such
issue. Doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is
Well,
such a
good
great
meet.
problem to have, right?
the
And if we come
designated
across
double
that,
person.
we'll deal with it, but I think we'll be good. Don't analyze it too much. It's like anything else, it's a dummy dum sport, right? And it's things like that. It's questions like that go, well, I was going to do it because, like, what if they were contacted by 5 people? You're talking yourself out of it already. You know what I mean? Like, do the thing.
There's
and watch the
20,000
results
agents in your
happen.
local marketplace, 10,000, 30,000, 60,000. There's 1.6 million real estate agents. Trust me, this has never existed before. Irrelevant. Like it's just like with homeowners out there, right? And buyers. There's an unlimited pool, but you guys got to show up. Everyone on here should be attached to the chats, you guys. You guys know this recording. I hope this was valuable to everybody. And again, this is a foundational piece for us with all of you guys that we want to work on heavily with you moving into all of 2026. So next 2 weeks, you guys, business planning workshop, this should be part of it. So as we build out those plans, have all of this filled out, ready to go, we'll see you guys on Monday next week. 12 p.m. Pacific. So whatever time zone that is for you, you guys see it all on our schedule in the chat. So we'll see you guys there.
Let's go.
Thank
Bye,
you,
guys.
Chad. Thank you,
Thank you. That was
Michelle.
awesome.
Thank y'all.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye-bye.